Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our entitled people. In today's episode, to all the people that went to small towns for spring break during a pandemic and ransacked every store before leaving, fuck you. Was I being entitled? EB decides she can dictate who I offer a free hot chocolate to and scolds me when I refuse. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. To all the people that went to small towns for spring break during a pandemic and ransacked every store before leaving, fuck you. I live in a small tourist town that brings hordes of people on holiday from all over. Not only are most of these people so entitled, belittle the locals, and generally treat the whole county like it's a theme park, you bought out all our daily and basic essentials before you left town this past weekend. The stores are desperately trying to recover from you animals so that us locals can barely get what we need. And now that the city has called for no gatherings larger than 50 people, all the stores are only letting 20 people in at a time. Do you even understand how impossible that is in a town of 12,000? It's Monday and we have nothing. Nothing. No water, no bread, no rice, no beans, no canned goods, no teepee or paper towels, no milk, no butter, no flour, no batteries, no baby food, no diapers, and no medicine, just to name a few. To all of you who thought that it would be no problem to hoard a small town's resources during a pandemic before you went back to your own city after holiday, you disgustingly entitled pieces of shit. Whoa! That's not just entitled. That's selfish and presumptuous. I hope you can make it through this, and I hope those shop owners will chew out the tourists for what they've done. The tourists are all gone home. There is no one to chew out. It's just us locals trying to scrape through what's left. I think you'll find that their home stores are also ransacked, and hoarding is simply happening everywhere. I don't live in a tourist area and the same thing is going on here. Entitled assholes are buying way more of everything than they need. Hating on the tourists isn't really justified, may as well hate on the locals too, it's just people. As someone that lives in a tourist town, albeit not small, I'm so glad they've started heading home. They clog the roads during rush hour in the morning and after work. This is a huge problem around here too. We now have a yearly number of expected vehicle accidents and deaths on what has become an extremely dangerous stretch of road when the tourist season starts. We also get shit tons of cyclists. Shit gets real scary on the blind hills and turns that make up most of our county roads. Miles upon miles of potential wrong place, wrong time s. We can't shop on the clock at my store. So, we got to watch as everyone took everything. Our trucks are limited right now with what we're getting. The crazy hoarder, panicking people are destroying the rest of us. And just think, the panic buying will inevitably lead to a price increase on goods. Thanks, hoarders. It's not the fact that people are panic buying that bothers me, as I live in a huge town next to a big enough city, but I still empathize. It's that it seems like they have completely forgotten any semblance of grocery store etiquette, i.e., get out of people's way. Stop staring off into space, get your cart out of the middle of the aisle, get your germy kids away from the shelves, and please don't run right up to me only to stop and stare at me until I move when I'm not even in your way. Happened today when I went to pick up only a few things at Walmart. It's like their brains disconnected. Dire circumstances are not an excuse to act like a selfish moron. Was I being entitled? Yesterday was my 27F best friend's birthday, 30F, so I took her and her brother, 32M, to a local indoor archery range, since she's been talking about wanting to try it. We check in, talk with the employee, and get some pointers on how to hold the bow, shoot, etc. After a few rounds we get the hang of it and the employee goes to help other groups. We shoot all our arrows and 3 of us are just talking and waiting for everyone to shout clear so we can retrieve them from the targets. It's quite packed at the place by now, and I see 2 little girls, probably 5 to 6 and 3 to 4 years old, just standing there and getting fidgety as their dad shoots. I'm sitting down and see some coloring books and markers right next to me. The dad was currently shooting, so I picked up a coloring book and some markers and asked the girls if they wanted to color. They shyly said yes and took the books, and were happily occupied. When the dad finally turned around, he saw them coloring and said, "Did you two bring those from home?" They looked at me terrified, and I said, "Sorry, I asked if they wanted to color." He just goes perfect and went back to shooting. I thought nothing else of it and didn't interact with the little girls the rest of the time, but they said thank you before they left. There was another child there learning to shoot with his grandfather in the lane beside us, and he said he wanted to color. The grandfather told him not to touch anything because they're not his and he needs to ask first. I don't know if this was directed at me, as he said it rather loudly. He asked the employee and they said anyone can use them, and that the child can take one home if he finds one he likes. Anyway, I just felt like maybe I overstepped and should have just minded my business. People with kids, would it make you feel uncomfortable if a stranger did this? Was I being entitled? No, you were not being entitled. You were being a nice person. Today, people are either overly protective or they are not paying attention. You never know. Being nice to kids is never wrong. Thank you for this kind reminder, I appreciate it. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Define entitled in this situation, please. Entitled is in not asking the parent if it would be okay or the employee to use the coloring books plus markers. Too many people are starting to use the word entitled to mean anything negative about a person's behavior. No, you were not being entitled. I don't really see any entitled behavior here at all. Can't really say about the others in this story, was it should like there's backstory that we don't know, and we include you, OP. EB decides she can dictate who I offer a free hot chocolate to and scolds me when I refuse. For those who don't use the Starbucks app, you sometimes get offers, e.g. buy one drink, get another free. Currently, there's an offer of buy a drink, get a free hot chocolate. I'm wandering up and down the aisles at the grocery store when a cart crashes into mine. I look up to see that a kid is pushing it. Without saying a word, he shrugs, backs up, and rolls past me. Okay dude. Rude much? 10 seconds later, he collides with another cart. A little girl is sitting in this one and immediately begins to wail. When the mother of the girl asks where the boy's parents are, he begins to cry too. The boy's mother, EB, decides now is a good time to finally be a parent, and storms over. The girl's mother tells EB what happened, and rather than apologize for not watching her kid, bad manners is apparently hereditary, EB tells the mom off for making her baby cry. The girl is still sniffling when she and her mom reach me at the end of the aisle, so I asked if she would like a free hot chocolate from the Starbucks attached to the grocery store. I explained that I'll pay for my latte and she can have the hot chocolate. Mom and daughter happily accepted, and we make a quick detour to get our drinks. EB and her son must have heard me, because I run into her in the store later on, and she tells me nastily that if I was going to offer a free treat to one crying child, I should have the common decency to do it for the other two. I'm shocked by her audacity and tell her I'm not going to do that. She tells me I'm a Scrooge with no holiday spirit and snaps for her son to follow her. The kid is still pushing the cart. Lord knows how many more he crashed into that day. I muttered something under my breath the other week when I saw a small kid pushing some sort of wagon cart all around the aisles and making everyone jump out of his way to avoid him. Mom must have super hearing because she started in on me for attacking a small child, he's only 2, etc. Lady, my issue isn't with the kid, it's with your negligent arse letting him do it. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.